Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. After countless storms and tears, today brings a moment that will make your heart warm. A moment that changes everything for Alex and Tuna. Don't forget to subscribe and help us reach 10,000 followers so you won't miss any touching chapters of their journey. The morning sun gently poured through the curtains, casting golden light across the small living room. Tuna sat quietly on the couch, her hands trembling as she held the small white envelope from the hospital. Her heart was racing. Alex, still unaware of what was inside, walked in with a cup of warm milk. "Tuna, are you okay?" he asked softly. She looked up, eyes glistening with emotion. "Alex, the doctor just called." He froze. "And?" A tear fell down her cheek. "Alex, I'm pregnant." His world stopped, and then filled with light. For a few seconds, Alex couldn't speak. The words, "I'm pregnant," echoed in his mind like music he had waited his whole life to hear. Then, as if breaking free from a dream, he rushed forward, wrapping Tuna in his arms. "Say that again," he whispered, his voice trembling with disbelief. Tuna smiled through her tears. "We're going to have a baby, Alex." He laughed, a raw, joyful sound, and lifted her off the floor. "Tuna, we did it. After everything, we're finally blessed." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she held on to him. For years, they had faced judgment, hardship, and even separation. Yet at that moment, everything disappeared, replaced only by gratitude and love. Within the hour, Alex was already grabbing his car keys. "Let's go see the doctor together. I need to hear it from him." Tuna giggled softly, her heart full of warmth. "You don't trust me?" "I trust you more than anyone," he said, kissing her forehead. "But I want to hear our baby's heartbeat with my own ears." They arrived at the hospital under the bright afternoon sun. The waiting room was quiet except for the soft sound of a lullaby playing from a speaker. Tuna clutched Alex's hand tightly. He could feel her pulse racing against his palm. When the doctor finally entered, her smile was warm and reassuring. "Congratulations," she said gently. "The results are positive. The baby is about 5 weeks along, strong and healthy." Tuna gasped softly, covering her mouth in disbelief. Alex's eyes shimmered with pride and relief. 5 weeks, he repeated, as though memorizing every syllable. The doctor continued, "You'll need to rest more, eat well, and avoid stress. This baby has a strong heartbeat. You're very lucky." Tuna's eyes filled again. She nodded gratefully, her fingers tightening around Alex's. As they stepped out of the hospital, Alex turned toward her, his voice low and tender. "From this moment on, I'll protect you both, no matter what happens." Tuna smiled through her tears, placing his hand gently over her belly. "And our little one will know. Their father loved them even before they were born." The wind carried her words into the golden light, a quiet promise of a new beginning. The next morning, the soft sunlight poured through the window of Alex's home, casting a golden hue on the breakfast table. For once there was peace, the kind of stillness that only comes after countless storms. Tuna sat beside Alex, her hands gently folded over her belly. Her eyes still sparkled with disbelief, as though she couldn't tell whether this joy was real or just a dream. Alex glanced at her with a boyish grin. "You haven't stopped smiling since last night?" She laughed softly. Neither of you. He reached across the table, brushing a strand of hair from her face. I don't think I ever will. Just then, the sound of heels echoed from the hallway. Mrs. Min, Alex's mother. Her presence usually filled the air with tension, but today, for some reason, Alex felt calm. He wanted her to know, not because he needed approval, but because this was something too precious to hide. Mother, Alex greeted, standing up respectfully. Mrs. Min glanced between them, her expression neutral. You called me early this morning. Is something wrong? Alex took a deep breath, then gently reached for Tuna's hand. Actually, we have something to tell you. Tuna lowered her gaze shyly, her voice soft. Mother, I went to the hospital yesterday. The doctor said... Mrs. Min's eyes narrowed slightly. Said what? Tuna hesitated, her hands trembling. Alex squeezed her fingers gently. Mother, he said, his voice breaking slightly. Tuna is pregnant. The words hung in the air. For a long moment, silence filled the room. Mrs. Min's eyes widened, her lips parting in disbelief. What did you just say? Alex stepped closer. You're going to be a grandmother. For a moment, she said nothing, just stared at the young couple before her. And then, something in her hardened expression began to melt. The tension in her shoulders softened, and her eyes, once sharp with pride, glimmered with emotion. Mrs. Min slowly approached Tuna. Is it true? She whispered. Tuna nodded, her voice trembling. Yes, Mother. The doctor confirmed it. I wanted to tell you personally. Tears welled in the older woman's eyes. Without another word, she reached out and pulled Tuna into her arms. My child, Mrs. Min said softly, her voice breaking. You've given this family something I didn't even know I needed, hope. Tuna froze in surprise, then slowly hugged her back, tears streaming down her face. Alex stood silently beside them, his chest tightening with emotion. He had never seen his mother look so human, so vulnerable. Mrs. Min pulled away slightly and placed a hand on Tuna's stomach. Take care of yourself and take care of my grandchild. From now on, you are family. Alex blinked rapidly, fighting back tears. He stepped forward and hugged both women tightly. Thank you, Mother. For the first time, Mrs. Min smiled at him, genuinely. Take care of them, Alex. That's all I ask. Outside, the morning light grew brighter, as if the whole world was blessing this fragile, beautiful moment of unity. That evening, the Turner residence glowed in soft golden light. The aroma of warm soup and freshly baked bread drifted from the kitchen, mixed with the delicate scent of lilies. Flowers Alex had placed in a vase himself. For once, the house didn't feel like a monument to power and wealth. It felt like a home. Mrs. Min sat quietly in the living room, watching Alex move around the kitchen with easy joy. Tuna, in a soft pastel dress, hummed as she prepared tea, her face radiant. Every now and then, her hand would drift to her belly, a gentle, protective gesture that made Mrs. Min's heart tremble. Alex came to her side, holding a small tray. Mother, dinner's ready. It's simple, but I hope you'll stay and eat with us. She looked up at him, seeing the sincerity in his eyes, not the defiant young man she once scolded, but a son who had grown through love and hardship. You even cooked? She asked softly, half teasing. He smiled, with help, of course. Tuna emerged with the teapot, her voice gentle. "Mother, I made your favorite, ginger broth. It's good for the stomach." For a moment, Mrs. Min didn't know what to say. She wasn't used to such tenderness, but when she saw Tuna's nervous hands and the flicker of hope in her eyes, she nodded slowly. "Thank you, child." They sat together, the clinking of bowls and chopsticks filling the silence. The atmosphere was calm, fragile, but warm. Henry, now toddling on his little legs, giggled and climbed onto Alex's lap, tugging at his shirt collar. Mrs. Min couldn't help but smile. "He's growing fast." Alex kissed his son's forehead. "Yes, and he's already bossing me around." Laughter filled the room. For the first time in years, Mrs. Min allowed herself to laugh freely. The kind of laugh that came from the heart. She glanced at Tuna and then at Alex. "You know," she said, "I once thought love was something that had to meet standards. Status, family, reputation." Alex paused, listening quietly. "But seeing you two," she continued, her voice softer now, "I realize I was wrong. Real love isn't about appearance. It's about sacrifice, trust, and the ability to stay when everything else falls apart." Tuna lowered her head, tears glistening in her lashes. "Mother, thank you." Mrs. Min reached across the table and gently took her hand. "No, thank you, Tuna, for loving my son when I couldn't understand him, and for giving this family a new beginning." The moment hung in the air, gentle and sacred. Outside, the wind stirred the chimes hanging by the window, their faint music echoing through the warm evening. Alex stood up and raised a glass of juice, simple, symbolic. "To family," he said, "to love that endures, and to the child we're waiting for." Tuna smiled through her tears. "And to forgiveness, because without it, love wouldn't survive." Mrs. Min lifted her glass as well, her eyes glimmering. "To new life," she whispered. As the glasses clinked, Henry clapped his tiny hands, laughing, unaware of how monumental this night was. Later, as dinner ended and the house grew quiet, Mrs. Min stood by the window. The moonlight poured in, painting her face in silver. Alex approached quietly. "Mother," he said softly, "you don't know how much this means to me." She turned to him, a bittersweet smile playing on her lips. "Oh, I do, Alex. I see it now, what love has done for you. It's made you softer but stronger too." She reached up and touched his cheek. "I may have been harsh before, but I only wanted you to find happiness. And now," her voice broke, "you have." Alex hugged her gently. "We both have, Mother." From across the room, Tuna watched, tears shimmering, heart full. This was what she had always wished for. Not just acceptance, but belonging. The family stood together beneath the soft moonlight, 3 generations bound by love, forgiveness, and the promise of a new beginning. Outside, a single lily petal fell from its vase and landed on the table. Fragile, pure, and full of quiet beauty, just like the peace that had finally found them. The next morning, sunlight streamed softly through the window, brushing over the white curtains and the delicate scent of lilies still lingering from the night before. The house was quiet except for the gentle cooing of Henry playing beside the bed. Alex stirred awake, his hand instinctively reaching for Tuna's. She was still asleep, her face peaceful, her hand resting protectively over her belly. For the first time in years, Alex felt an overwhelming calm, as if the storm that had raged around their lives had finally passed. He got up quietly, walking outside. The air smelled of earth and morning dew. The farm, the place that had once witnessed their heartbreak, was now a garden of hope. The wind rustled through the leaves, whispering promises of new beginnings. Behind him, Lytuna appeared at the doorway, wrapped in a light shawl. Her eyes were still drowsy but glowing with warmth. "You woke up early," she said softly. Alex turned and smiled. "I couldn't sleep. I wanted to watch the sunrise. It feels like a new chapter." She walked to his side, slipping her hand into his. "Every sunrise feels different when you know you're not alone anymore." He looked down at her, his heart tightening with emotion. "Lytuna," he whispered, "I've made so many mistakes, but loving you has never been one of them. From now on, I'll protect you, our baby, and Henry, no matter what." Lytuna smiled through tears. "You already do, Alex. You've given me more than protection. You've given me peace." Just then, Mrs. Min stepped out onto the porch. Her hair shimmered in the golden light, her expression softer than ever before. "You two are up early," she said, her tone warm. "The house hasn't felt this alive in years." Alex turned to her, his eyes full of gratitude. "It's because of you, Mother. You chose to open your heart again." Mrs. Min looked at Lytuna and smiled gently. "No, child, it's because love taught me to." They stood together, 3 souls, 1 family, as the sun rose fully, painting everything in gold. In that moment, Alex knew. Their love had endured every trial, every storm, and now it would grow into something stronger, a legacy of forgiveness, family, and faith in the power of love. The camera slowly pulled back, capturing the small home, the laughter of Henry, and the glimmering horizon. A simple voiceover closed the scene. Love isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. And for Alex and Lytuna, that's what made their small family truly unbreakable.
Sau bao nhiêu biến cố và nước mắt cuối cùng cũng hạnh phúc mỉm cười với Tử Na về lấy sau khi bác sĩ thông báo Tử Na đã mang thai. Cả hai như vỡ òa niềm vui ôm chặt. Cô những giọt nước mắt hạnh phúc qua nhà cha má. Điều bất ngờ nhất là mẹ Alex của người từng phản đối với người này đã từng rơi nước mắt ôm lấy Tử Na thật chặt, gọi cô là con dâu của mẹ. Căn nhà nhỏ ngập tràn trong tiếng cười ánh nắng. Henry bị bô lên cạnh cha mẹ, tất cả một khởi đầu mới nơi tình yêu, sự tha thứ, gia đình. Họ là một sau cơn bão dài, họ đã tìm thấy bình yên.